Hello everyone, my name is Amanda and welcome to this video. This is not going to be a step-by-step tutorial like I usually do on my channel, but more like a vlog type situation. So I'm going to be checking in once in a while as I go along and show you the progress I've made. I'm going to be making two items in this video, a midi bias skirt and a knit ribbed top. So I actually went ahead and started on the knit top already, and that's because it takes forever to knit something and this video would never be finished. As you can see, I started out here with a small rib pattern and then moved on to a larger rib pattern. So basically the next 20 centimeters is going to be knit exactly like this, which won't be very interesting to watch. So I'm going to try to skip over as many of the boring parts as possible so you can just see the interesting parts. And this is the fabric for the skirt. I kind of chose the colors so they would complement each other nicely and I could wear them together. I chose this fabric because it is very stretchy on the bias, which is the 45-degree angle to the grain line. So following the grain, the fabric is not stretchy, and on the bias, it's very stretchy. This stretch is what will make the skirt follow the curves of your body. So using a skirt that I already own and love, I am placing it on the bias, so rotated 45 degrees compared to what you would normally do. I know this mix of patterns looks absolutely insane. Anyway, then I am tracing around half the skirt, leaving about 2 centimeters of seam allowance. This way of cutting will typically require more fabric, so just keep that in mind. I decided to cut out 1/2 of the skirt and then fold it over to make it symmetrical. I don't know, there's probably a better way to do this, but I was so focused on the placement of the pieces. Anyway, I repeated this for the second half of the skirt, cutting after that first piece. I tried to make sure that they were on the same angle to the grain line. So we are almost done cutting, but I do want there to be a bit of extra structure around the waist. So I'm making a waistband lining by using some of the scrap fabric. Basically, I just cut after the shape of the skirt and cut a band 6 centimeters wide that will follow the line of the skirt. I repeated this for the other piece, so now I have 2 skirt halves and 2 waistband pieces. Recently, I've really been loving sitting on my balcony and listening to podcasts or music while knitting. I get tired of watching Netflix all day, and because I don't have a job right now, or rather I do, but I can't work because of the pandemic, I have so much time on my hands that I don't know what to do with. I've definitely found out during this isolation period that I do not thrive without some sort of structure every day. I think I feel more stressed out than I do if I'm working 2 jobs while in school, mostly because I just feel so unproductive. But at least I have YouTube to provide me some sort of creative outlet. Anyway, now I can start sewing together my skirt. I start by pinning one side seam and sewing that with a straight stitch. This type of fabric, which is viscose by the way, can be a bit difficult to work with, mostly because it is so stretchy and slippery. On the other side seam, I'm inserting a zipper. If you want a detailed description of how I do this, you can check out my video on sewing a pair of pants, where I use the exact same technique. But basically, I sew the side seams together as I would normally, but on the length of the zipper, I sew with the largest stitch possible, so sort of a basting stitch. Then I pin the zipper to the inside of the seam, face down, and make sure that the middle of the zipper is lined up with the middle of the seam. Then I sew the zipper in place, getting as close to the edge as possible. Finally, I can remove the basting stitch covering the zipper, and ta-da! I know there are probably many ways to sew in a zipper, but this is the one I use the most often and works really well for me. I just spent the last 2 days in the park with my roommate and best friend, and yeah, it was really nice to just lay around and read and knit. So I did make some progress there. I think I have about 24 centimeters now, but I need about 32 centimeters in total before I can start the next step. And honestly, I feel like it goes so slow because I'm using quite small needles. Yeah, it's a work in progress, but I'm super excited about how it's looking so far, and I just can't wait till it's finished. Ooh, I also finished this yellow wrap sweater that I've been working on for like 2 months, and I'm not gonna make a separate video for that, so I'll just show you here. And I think it's so cute, but it's gotten too hot to wear here during the day, so I'll have to save it for the summer evenings. Back to the skirt, we are moving on to the waistband. I'm first sewing them together with a straight stitch and then rolling the bottom hem. If you think this creates too much bulk, you can also just use a zigzag stitch on the edge to keep it from fraying. Finally, I'm attaching the waistband by pinning the middle seam to the side seam that does not have the zipper, and from here I'm pinning it all the way along the top edge of the skirt. I have about 1 centimeter of seam allowance. To attach that, I'm sewing along the pins with a straight stitch. To make everything nice and crisp, I'm going to fold the waistband in and press the edge, making sure that the seam is not visible from the front. Then I'm top stitching along the top to secure everything in place. Careful with this step because depending on the fabric you have, this can stretch the fabric, making it too big on the waist. It did with mine, so I added an elastic to the inside of the back to cinch everything in. Finally, I folded the bottom edge up and hemmed it with a straight stitch. Okay, progress has been made. I'm almost finished with the left side of the front. I just think that this looks so cool, and I love the way that the stitches kind of gather into this slinky strap. And then I'm gonna go ahead and knit the other side and then the back, and then I'm finished. So that's where I am right now, and hopefully I'll get a lot done today. Also, on a completely unrelated note, I just finished my application to med school and sent it in today. So now I have to just wait for a month to see if I get in. I hope that I get in so bad. But all I can do is hope for the best, and if I don't get in, then that's okay too, and I'll figure something out. Okay, so I'm almost finished. As you can see, I'm only missing the right side of the back, and this is how it's going to look. And then the thin strap here. Okay, it is officially finished, and now all I have to do is wash it and lay it out to the right measurements. And here are the final pieces. I really love how they both turned out, but after trying them on together, I think the top is just a bit too long to wear with the skirt, but that's okay, I still really like them as separate pieces. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please leave a comment down below. And otherwise, I'll see you in my next one.